There is a question almost nobody dares to ask themselves honestly. Why are we so terrified of being seen as losers? Most people would answer that failure hurts. That explanation sounds reasonable. It is also incomplete. Many people could tolerate a modest life, a small apartment, an ordinary job, a routine that would never appear in a documentary, a biography, or a social media highlight reel. What they struggle to tolerate is the thought of other people witnessing that life and silently concluding that it lacks significance. The deepest wound is often not failure itself. It is exposure. It is the possibility of becoming visible in a way we never wanted. Modern anxiety is rooted in this fear more than most people realize. A man loses money and suffers. A woman loses status and suffers. Yet often the suffering extends far beyond the practical consequences. What torments them is the image of themselves reflected in the eyes of others. Human beings are social creatures. For thousands of years, belonging to a tribe meant survival. Rejection could mean death. Somewhere deep within the nervous system, ancient instincts still remain. The crowd has changed. The fear has not. Today, the tribe is no longer a small village. It is the entire world. Millions of invisible judges, millions of spectators, millions of opinions arriving every second. And so people spend enormous amounts of energy constructing identities designed for public consumption. They become performers, curators, brands, characters. The self slowly transforms into a project. Every achievement becomes an announcement. Every setback becomes a threat. Every interaction becomes a subtle negotiation for approval. What makes this especially tragic is that most people never consciously choose this arrangement. They inherit it. From childhood, they are compared. Grades, achievements, appearance, popularity, income, influence. Success becomes a scoreboard. Life becomes a competition whose rules were written before they arrived. Few people stop long enough to ask a dangerous question: who created this game? Even fewer ask something more dangerous: why am I playing it? The word loser derives its power from a collective agreement, a social spell, a label that only functions because millions of minds unconsciously participate in sustaining it. The moment society calls someone a winner, crowds gather. The moment society calls someone a failure, crowds disappear. Yet history repeatedly reveals how unstable these judgments are. Heroes become villains. Villains become heroes. Celebrities are forgotten. Unknown individuals become legends. Public opinion moves like desert sand. Entire lives are spent chasing its approval. Entire lives are destroyed by its rejection. The strange thing is that both approval and rejection originate from the same source. People who are themselves confused. People who are themselves afraid. People who are themselves searching for validation. And still, we hand them the authority to determine our worth. This is where Epictetus begins his inquiry. Long before asking how to win, he asks a far more unsettling question: who told you what victory is? One of the most disturbing realizations a person can have is this: many of their desires were never truly their own. They arrived pre-packaged, inserted quietly into the mind through years of repetition. Society rarely commands directly. It whispers, it suggests, it repeats. Eventually, the suggestion feels like personal conviction. People say they want success, yet if you ask them what success means, they often describe a collection of images borrowed from their culture. A large income, recognition, influence, comfort, prestige, visibility. The details vary. The structure remains remarkably similar. The strange part is how arbitrary these standards become when viewed across history. In ancient Rome, military glory could define a man's value. In medieval societies, religious devotion often outranked wealth. Among certain indigenous cultures, wisdom and service carried greater importance than personal accumulation. Today, visibility has become one of the highest currencies. Attention itself has become wealth. An individual can possess millions of eyes focused upon them and still remain profoundly empty. The crowd rarely notices the difference. Epictetus understood something extraordinary about these social definitions. He was born a slave. From the perspective of conventional status, he occupied one of the lowest positions imaginable. No wealth, no power, no prestige, no social advantage. Yet centuries later, emperors, scholars, leaders, and ordinary people continue reading his words. The aristocrats who once looked down on men like him have largely disappeared into historical dust. His existence alone challenges conventional ideas of success. His life raises an uncomfortable possibility. Perhaps social rank has very little to do with human value. Perhaps the hierarchy itself is far less important than people assume. The Stoics observed something that modern culture constantly forgets. External conditions influence life. They do not define the soul. Money can improve comfort. Comfort can reduce certain forms of suffering. Neither can provide meaning. Neither can provide wisdom. Neither can provide inner freedom. Many people spend decades pursuing symbols of success without ever examining the assumptions beneath them. They run toward goals inherited from strangers, toward dreams manufactured by culture, toward destinations they never consciously selected. Then, one day, they arrive and discover an unsettling emptiness waiting there. The mountain was climbed. The view feels strangely familiar. The hunger remains. Because the problem was never the distance. The problem was the direction. Every desire arrives with a hidden invoice. Most people never ask to see it. They stare at outcomes. They ignore costs. This blindness shapes countless lives. When people admire Olympic champions, they see the medal. They do not see the years consumed by preparation, the injuries, the sacrifices, the isolation, the uncertainty, the endless possibility that all effort may lead nowhere. Epictetus used this example for a reason. He wanted people to understand that ambition is a transaction. Every achievement demands payment. Nothing enters existence for free. The same principle governs every corner of life. Admired entrepreneurs, famous actors, powerful politicians, influential creators. People observe the visible reward. The invisible burden remains hidden. Long nights, chronic stress, broken relationships, emotional exhaustion, persistent anxiety, private loneliness. Some acquire status while losing peace. Some acquire wealth while losing health. Some acquire influence while losing themselves. The crowd notices the trophy. The crowd rarely notices the scars. This creates a dangerous illusion. People compare their ordinary reality to someone else's edited outcome. They compare their sacrifices to another person's rewards. The comparison becomes psychologically unbearable. What they fail to see is the complete equation. Every path extracts something. Every destination costs something. The real question is never whether a price exists. The real question concerns whether the exchange is worthwhile. There is another layer to this problem. Even when desires are fulfilled, satisfaction rarely lasts. Ancient philosophers understood this. Modern neuroscience confirms it. Human beings adapt rapidly. The extraordinary becomes ordinary. The impossible becomes expected. The dream becomes routine. Then another desire emerges, and another, and another. The horizon keeps retreating. Many people believe they are pursuing happiness. What they are actually pursuing is anticipation, a future emotional reward that never fully arrives, like thirsty travelers chasing a mirage across an endless desert. The illusion survives because it always remains slightly ahead, far enough away to preserve hope. close enough to sustain pursuit. Entire lives disappear this way, consumed by destinations that dissolve upon arrival. Death possesses a perspective unavailable to the living. It strips away exaggeration. It dissolves illusions. It restores scale. Most people avoid thinking about mortality. The subject feels dark, uncomfortable, almost forbidden. Yet death remains the most honest reality in existence. Every empire eventually encounters it. Every fortune encounters it. Every dynasty encounters it. Every body encounters it. The universe has never negotiated an exception. The Stoics contemplated death frequently. Popular culture often misunderstands this practice. It assumes obsession with mortality creates despair. In reality, avoiding mortality often creates greater despair. People become attached to illusions of permanence. They begin treating temporary things as eternal. Status feels permanent. Youth feels permanent. Recognition feels permanent. Control feels permanent. Then reality intervenes. The illusion collapses. Suffering follows. Death functions like a cosmic correction, a reminder that everything visible is passing through. Civilizations rise. Civilizations vanish. Languages emerge. Languages disappear. Names celebrated by millions eventually become unreadable inscriptions on forgotten stone. Most human achievements share the same fate. Time consumes them. The universe remains astonishingly indifferent. This realization can feel bleak at first. Then something unexpected happens. Liberation begins to emerge. The pressure starts dissolving. The desperate need to impress strangers weakens. The obsession with social ranking loses intensity. The constant performance becomes harder to justify. Why sacrifice inner peace for applause destined to fade? Why construct identity from things guaranteed to disappear? Why spend precious years chasing approval from people who themselves will be forgotten? Death does not merely destroy. Death reveals. It reveals what survives comparison. It reveals what survives status. It reveals what survives public opinion. And in that revelation, the foundations of Stoicism begin to appear. At this point, Epictetus turns conventional thinking upside down. Society worships accumulation. More money, more influence, more recognition, more attention, more evidence that one matters. Yet there is a profound difference between possessing something and depending upon it. A man may own wealth. Another may be owned by wealth. A woman may possess status. Another may be possessed by status. From the outside, both situations can look identical. The distinction exists internally. Imagine a celebrated individual, admired everywhere, successful by every social standard. Now imagine that person's emotional state collapsing whenever criticism appears. Imagine their identity shattering whenever status declines. Imagine panic emerging whenever attention disappears. What exactly has been gained? The prison became luxurious. The prison remained a prison. This is one of Epictetus's most radical insights. Dependence is dependence. Golden chains still function as chains. Many people who appear powerful are spiritually fragile. Many people who appear insignificant are inwardly unshakable. The crowd rarely recognizes this. The crowd evaluates surfaces. Philosophy examines foundations. The truly tragic figure is not the poor man who lacks status. The tragic figure is the successful man who cannot survive without it. One has little. The other has surrendered freedom. Freedom, for Epictetus, was never about possessions. It concerned sovereignty over the self, the ability to remain internally stable amid external change, the ability to lose without being destroyed, the ability to be misunderstood without losing direction, the ability to stand alone without collapsing into despair. This kind of strength rarely attracts attention. yet it may be the rarest achievement available to human beings. Eventually, every person arrives at a crossroads. One path leads deeper into the game. More comparison, more performance, more pursuit, more dependence on forces beyond control. The other path leads inward, toward self-examination, toward detachment, toward a kind of freedom that cannot be purchased. This second path is not glamorous. It offers no guarantee of admiration, no promise of status, no assurance that others will understand. In fact, many people may conclude that you have fallen behind, that you lack ambition, that you failed. The irony is almost unbearable. The individual escaping the cage is often judged by those still trapped inside it. Epictetus understood this. He knew that freedom carries social consequences. The crowd becomes suspicious of those who refuse its values. A person who no longer needs approval becomes difficult to control. A person who no longer worships status becomes difficult to manipulate. A person who no longer fears appearing insignificant becomes genuinely dangerous to the systems built upon insecurity. This journey is not merely philosophical, it is spiritual. At the deepest level, it confronts the central illusion of human existence. The belief that worth must be earned through external validation. The belief that existence requires justification. The belief that being seen is equivalent to being valuable. Yet beneath all social identities, beneath achievements, failures, labels, reputations, and roles, there remains something quieter, something older, something untouched by public opinion. The Stoics called it reason, others call it soul, others call it consciousness. The name matters less than the recognition itself. There is a dimension of your being that neither applause nor rejection can alter. Most people never encounter it. The noise is too loud. The performance never ends. The race consumes everything. And so they spend decades trying to become someone, trying to prove something, trying to impress people who are fighting the same invisible battle. Then old age arrives. Then silence arrives. Then the final accounting arrives. And one question remains, a question far more important than whether the world considered you successful. Did you spend your life becoming free? Because countless people win the game. Very few ever escape it. And there may be no greater tragedy than reaching the end of your life, only to discover that you sacrificed your peace, your soul, and your finite years defending an image that was never truly you. If this message resonated with you, remember, you're not alone on this journey. There are already more than 100 videos on this channel exploring philosophy, stoicism, meaning, and the deeper questions most people avoid. Simply watching, liking, and sharing these videos already helps more than you know. Truly, thank you. If you'd like to go a step further, consider becoming a channel member. You'll help keep this work alive and gain access to exclusive perks and member-only content. And if this video gave you something valuable, you can also support the channel through Super Thanks. Your support doesn't just fund videos. It helps build a community of people searching for truth in a world full of distractions.